Chris Parkin Shooting Sports. Today I've got a short unboxing video because I've got a PARD NV007A night vision rifle scope, or in fact it's a night vision add-on for your regular daylight rifle scope, one of which I've already got ready here. So what's in the box? Well, secondary to the box, you do need a mounting collar with it. It comes with the 45mm mounting collar, but you can also have it in 42 and 48mm, and that matches the diameter of your scope. But we'll come to that more in just a moment. So what's in the box? Essentially, that is the 007A. So it's a night vision add-on, and this collar here goes on the back of your rifle scope, and then the PARD fits onto the collar It's a bit easier when it's actually on the rifle scope, and it clips into place with a bayonet catch. So you'll see all this at a later date when I do the full review on it, but essentially we'll go through what's in the box today. So that's the 007A. It comes with an 18650 battery. Now you need to take the battery out and just peel the little red tag off the end, or the black tag off the end, just to make sure it'll make the electrical circuit. I've already done this one. Now, I've been criticised in the past for saying that the actual battery can be charged in the unit, and I was told, no, it can't be charged in the unit. Well, actually, yes, it can. I've read the instructions on the Sportsman Gun Centre website, who very generously sent me this to review, and it clearly states that both this and the 008 have not only a charging lead, which is also usable to download footage off it, that also works as a charger, and there's a light on this which will flash red, green and give you the idea of when it's charged or not. But other than that, what else in the box? We've got a soft bag which will store that quite nicely when it's not on your rifle, so you can carry it around in your rucksack or your truck or whatever. So I'll put that to one side. The collar, as I say, you can choose the one you need. It comes with the charging cable and also the data release cable, so you can watch your films that you make on it. Comes with a roll of black electrical tape. I'll show you more about that in a minute, because essentially what that electrical tape is to do is it wraps around the ocular body of your scope to give you a precise fit for this. And there are two clamping collars on here. There's a clamping collar here which will then lock in place. Now, as I said, I have cheated a little bit because I've done this one first. So essentially you can build, although you can buy these in 3 sizes, you just add a couple of layers of tape and it gives you that absolutely precise fit. That will slot over and then it tightens in place. So I'll leave that one on there just for now. And go back to what else is in the box. We've got some spare O-rings, Allen keys. That's for putting this collar on with and tensioning it in place. Most importantly, we have the lovely instruction book and lots of technical specifications and readouts on it. So let's put that to one side. Looking at the actual unit itself, what have we got that we can point out straight away? Well, you have an illuminator on the front which gives you up to 200 metre range. I believe it's a 5-watt illuminator, but I'll check those statistics exactly shortly. So the battery compartment's there, 18-16-50 batteries in it. Now that will actually work as a camera and a spotter, because if you haven't got it on the rifle and you just put it up to your eye, you will get the image through it, either daylight or night vision, depending on how you set it up. And this large focus collar on the underside is what actually focuses that to the distance of the image it's looking on. So whether that be on your rifle scope when it's mounted in position here, or whether you're looking in the distance to it. On the back, we've got the ocular focus, similar to the fast focus on a rifle scope, which is what actually focuses the screen within. Gives you a great picture actually, and the actual unit itself will record HD footage through your rifle scope. It is quite useful and fairly important to have a rifle scope with side parallax on it, because side parallax is what's going to give you the true clarity and focus your image perfectly. Because of course when you're adding things on that aren't quite as adaptable as the human eye, you do need to get the mechanical setup a bit more smooth. So essentially, what else on here? It's got a rubber bellows eye cup, 35mm eye relief, and it does add, it does add some length to the rifle scope itself. So your head position will be slightly compromised, but offset that against the fact you can buy additional collars, put them on additional rifles, and realistically all you have to carry is that, and it clicks on and off. Charge the battery, every 8 hours, and you've got any rifle in your armoury is straight to night vision. I perhaps wouldn't want to use it on a high recoiling rifle, probably anything bigger than a 243. You know, it's going to give you, because you are going to be in contact with that, and it will give you a nudge, but it's not painful. You're just not used to the nudging. Other than that, we've got the USB. Everything's under these rubber guards on the side. Let's see if I can get my fingernail underneath there. But you've got the USB port, which is what works for charging, and my thumbnail is disintegrated on me. So we've got the USB port here, which gives us the charging SD card, things like that. We can put up to 128 gigabyte storage on it. That's sealed under there. I've shown you the two focusing dials, and then basically everything on the back, which you can see here or on the camera up there. So you've got a main power button. You can swap from daylight to infrared. You can change your magnification, because these are available in either a 1 or a 4 times base magnification setting, 12 or 16 millimeter. Essentially, once you've done that, this has got up to 7 times digital magnification in it. So that takes you from either a 1 to 7 or a 4 to 28. I think I've got the maths right there. So your brightness setting, illuminator setting, you've got the illumination focus there. Like any night vision device, sometimes they will benefit for longer distance to use additional larger, you know, physically larger illuminators. But this one is ideal out to about 100 meters. Many other conditions dependent, daylight, air conditions, etc. How light is it, whether you've got the moon or not. But of course in daylight, these are so easy to set up and also so easy to test and become familiar with. And although unlike a complete add-on scope, you don't need to zero one of these, it's nice to get used to using it in both daylight and darkness. And you can, of course, if you want to use it to video in daylight and in darkness. So it's quite a versatile add-on. They're not terribly expensive. They're £332.99p, which I don't think is a lot at all for such, how should we call it, an empowering accessory actually. So there's a power switches on the top. Hold there, should probably put that on for me in less than 2 seconds. And that's now on, and I'm looking at that at the actual camera filming me now. So the time it takes for me to focus on that camera, you can probably see my fingers just twiddling here on that dial. I'm now focused on you guys on the camera filming me. If I put that back on the rifle, I'll just twist that back and go back to the focus on the rifle. That's not something I'm going to be doing every 2 minutes, but it's great that you can do that, and because you can film with it on or off. And it's very empowering and very capable. It's got Wi-Fi, you know, all the menu functions. There's a huge amount of detail in the manual, so we'll just have a quick flick through there. It's all laser certified for the illuminator. It's supplied with a battery. What else does it say about in here? Bayonet attachment, you know, lots of turn on, turn off, sleep, wake up, time guides, the eyepiece adjustment, objective lens focusing, IR power control. You know, everything is covered in the manual. It's a decent size. It's clearly laid out. It's not just some kind of multiple photograph or multiple pictures or cartoon drawings, which I don't like really. I quite like proper text. Auto recording, loop recording, so you can leave it going and it will keep going round and round and round and hold the last X amount of time. Give you a date stamp on things, which is actually very useful because sometimes it can be really handy to know exactly what you've seen, when you've seen it, and have a record of that for your game book, or if you need to, you know, to carry on and search on for more quarry, or if you know, if you miss a shot or something like that, and you've got to track it up, you know exactly what, where, and when. Brightness controls there. You've got the internal screen brightness control, audio recording. You can turn the bleep on and off, the Wi-Fi, exposure level. You can even change the language if you want. Date and time setup. Format it so you can format your SD cards, because there's nothing more annoying than when you forget to format your SD card and you end up with weeks worth of footage and you're trying to remember, was that Fox X or Rabbit Y on week Z, and you can go back to the default settings on it. So the actual warranty here, warranty is the original purchaser only. Operation of this device in daylight or viewing any strong radiation source like the sun, electric welding and laser directly may cause permanent damage to internal parts on this device. This is not covered by the warranty. Pretty much like any optical tool, do not point it at bright daylight. But unlike an old image amplification tube that was not before the digital era, you're not going to burn anything out generally in those sensors. So here are some of the key statistics here. Let's see which ones I remembered correctly. So 850 nanometers, so that's, you know, visible so far, infrared light. It's not the 920, but 850 gives you a bit more strength and a bit more power to that. So it is a 5-watt illuminator. Photo resolution, it talks about 8D. Storage type's a micro SD card. Battery life is up to 8 hours. I've generally found that pretty good. They quoted that on the 008, which I was using last year, and it did give me really good run times. But of course, that's temperature dependent. But it's easy to charge. When everything's on a USB cable these days, you can plug it in, and it's becoming a very universal format. And as I say, you can charge this one in the unit, and you can also have a spare if you want a spare. Or you could leave it plugged in and keep it on charge effectively as you're using it, or, you know, certainly as a backup if you need to. So that's 3.7 volts. Eyepiece resolution I've covered. Frame rate, so it's 30 frames per second, which is quite good because you don't get any kind of staccato imagery. And on your video footage, it's also going to look nice and smooth. Overall weight is 250 grams. Focusing distance is 3 centimeters to infinity. So that 3 centimeters is essentially when it's on the gun versus when you're using it as a spotting tool. I think that pretty much covers everything it says here about the actual unit and specification. So we'll cover more when I do a full review of this, because I've been looking forward to using it. I liked the 008. But I'm really keen to try this and use it on different formats of rifle. As I said, I have been a bit sneaky. I did give it a go the other day. And just to give you the lowdown, I wrapped the tape on there just to get an absolutely smooth fit with that. That goes on, clamps in place. And that doesn't really affect your eye relief or anything, because on a 100mm or 90mm eye relief scope, you've still got loads of space for an additional, it's about 5mm it actually adds in terms of physical dimension there. And okay, when this goes on the back, it's a bit longer. Just find the right bits for the bayonet there, because it's not tight on the, there we go. So there we are, and it'll fit something like that when it's in use. This is not on here tight because I took it off for the unboxing, but essentially that is what you get. This is a 223 rifle. It's perfectly usable, perfectly happy, and if you see the bayonet switch there, clip that off, that will turn, and it comes apart. Obviously that's what stays on your scope. So if you like what you see and you want to see more, please like, please subscribe, please click the notification bell, and please comment, because we want to hear the comments. We want to hear what you want to see on videos, because if you don't tell us, we can't tell you. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Sportsman Gun Centre for sending me this equipment. Goodbye for now. See you again soon.